Hey, everybody. You're listening to the Fake Book Club podcast, where we talk about everything from movies, music, life, and occasionally the books we're reading. Follow us wherever you find your podcasts. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Tabrizia, and I'm here today with my fellow co host.
Whitney
Chris?
and Chris.
Tessa.
And Evelyn.
I think this is probably why we have the mute option. So
We need to work on that.
If we're doing more online, like Zoom recordings, we definitely need to work on that.
yes.
Do we need a permanent rotation? Like you'll always go second, you'll always go third? Or...
No, this is stuff we need to discuss before we start recording.
You can cut
Got
this
it.
right out.
Yes,
Yes. I will not. I leave in a lot of stuff.
True.
Before we get started, I want to mention that we are not affiliated nor sponsored by any brands or labels we may talk about during this recording yet. So I want to say first, congratulations, guys. This is our season finale of the Fake Book Club podcast. Yay! We made it to 8 episodes. And thank you to everyone who continued listening throughout our first season. I hope you enjoyed all the episodes this season. So let's kick it off with our first topic. So how is everyone doing with everything that has occurred these past few days?
What happened these past few
Yeah, I'm having trouble saying it. So it was our presidential election a couple of days ago, and we have a result that concerns many of us and something I still can't fully say. And even when I was checking
disbelief, honestly, like
yeah, you don't want to bring it to reality by mentioning it.
No, not at all. But essentially, we are recording this on the week that, the election and the voting has occurred. And we're clearly been through a lot this week. Emotionally, mentally, physically, even depending on how we've been coping.
Yeah, that's true.
So
well, the crazy thing is you have to work that day, like no matter what, right?
Oh,
yeah. Which is insane to me.
Quiet in the city on Wednesday.
It was.
And
you have to understand something. I took a vacation from between Halloween to election day. And I came back to work on that Wednesday, fully believing that yeah, it's just anxiety, everything will be fine. And then when I logged into work, everyone was like, every meeting is canceled. Every meeting, let all of your meetings with your co-workers be just check-ins. And I think everyone kind of understood, yeah, we're not okay.
That is so interesting.
I wish our job did that.
No,
they did not.
No,
it was just an email. It was just this happened. We have the resources through HR if you need to deal with it. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm like,
I'm sure that email was sent in the comfort of their home.
Exactly.
Wait, we didn't even get that. We didn't even get that in my company.
No.
It was business as usual.
Yeah, no, there was an email for us where it's like, hey, we have a comfort center set up in the school that I work for. It's like the comfort center set up on the 3rd floor if you need to talk to people. And it it specifically said for students, so I'm like, oh, so fuck us, I guess.
Oh god, the language. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like for students, and I'm like, well, that's great. I hope somebody took advantage of that.
I'm angry, and I've been telling folks, for the next 4 years, ain't shit funny. I hope for all the people that voted for that man get exactly what they voted for. It affects no one but them. Yeah. But I look, and that's the nicest way I'm gonna say, because
No,
I've
I
been
actually did read an article that put it exactly like that, where it's
Yeah.
like the best, like one of the best you can say at this point is like, I hope you get exactly what you voted for,
Mm-hmm.
and it's already looking like they will. So hey,
yeah, like they're already not getting their Christmas bonuses because they're probably gonna lose their jobs. I'm like,
hmm
they're about to get a hurricane because God
it's
don't
gonna
like
be
ugly.
Yep.
gonna be a lot
I
of
saw it
union
and
busting.
yeah, I was like, I saw where the hurricane is. It's like I have to call my family because they live in one of those states. And I'm like, okay, I want to make sure you guys are okay, but good.
I saw a tweet where it's
Basically,
like Texas will be getting no thoughts and prayers from me this hurricane season,
Or Florida.
or
or
Florida.
Florida,
Yeah.
exactly. And
It
I'm just
sucks
like,
knowing
yo,
people in both states, though. You're like, oh,
I
these are the good
know.
people, and yeah.
I'm just
yeah,
fortunate that even though a lot of places in New York, we live in New York State, it's fine. In New York State are red. I'm glad that we
a
majority of
city,
where we are is
yeah,
blue.
I
And
think,
living in a
yeah.
blue state, we are a lot more protected than those
Well,
that are not.
there
So
was a big shift if you look at the breakdown for like each
yeah,
area. So
yeah,
it's like a big shift towards Trump, actually,
yes.
even
yeah,
in my neighborhood and stuff. And you're like, okay,
I
what is
did see
going
that
on?
map.
yeah.
I was like, but we all know the makeup of those areas versus in the red versus blue areas.
Ugh.
So,
I think
Well,
that's like, I think that's where New York State benefits from is because the fact that even though, yeah, maybe if you go further up, it is like red area, but the fact that I know, and a lot of people upstate don't like it, that the majority of the income in the economy comes from New York City. So, and a
Yes.
huge population comes from New York City. And we are most, and a majority of us are blue.
Hmm.
So it kind of gives me comfort in that fact. I'm not saying New York City or New York State is perfect, but I do feel safer here
yeah.
compared to other states, other than Washington or California, which I feel like
which are
we
also
might,
blue,
You're
like,
yeah,
true.
exactly. We'll be
But
safe there too.
I had to unfriend this week. I
ooh,
didn't really talk to her that much anyway, but I unfriended her because she was like, I'm not gonna tell her business, and this is something that we can talk about after we're done recording. But she's like, I feel a sigh of relief that he won because now I feel protected for my daughter. And of course, she's a white woman. But and
um,
I just was like, go MAGA, and I was just like, unfriend
Yeah.
because I don't have the patience. But I don't want to tell. She's never gonna hear this. Well, we're not Facebook friends anymore, so I don't think she'll listen to this anyway. Um, but I'll give the tea after we're done recording. But I was just like, you have a lot of nerve saying that, considering your background.
ooh,
Well, I mean, it's like it, and if you go on like Threads and Blue Sky and even Instagram, like a lot of authors and other content creators, they've lost followers because they have, promoted human rights and civil rights, and then there's like a trend on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but I've heard it from other authors saying that because people are saying that books are not political, and then
Ah,
that's like,
The
yeah,
worst thing,
exactly.
the worst thing anybody could possibly goddamn say.
Yeah, I was like, and
Even
they're
even
like, go,
like books you wouldn't think like, oh, romance. I'm like, romance came from came from wanting an escape from the shitty romance life that you had in the first place.
exactly.
But obviously, as an escape, all
Genre in general has always been like shaped by like the what do you call this, like the circumstances of like where it comes from.
yeah,
mm,
So like like to say books are not political or not are not a reaction to like the situations that like the authors are in and or are reacting to like sucks. Like
Yeah.
it's such a narrow-minded thing to say. And
It
also
really
like a
is.
really ignorant thing to say. Like what
Yeah.
on
Yeah, and because even like Juno Dawson, who is a the best-selling author, she even have to go onto her Instagram and on TikTok saying because she had to make a statement because she said that she doesn't usually go on TikTok to react or anything like that, but she said that she had to react to this because the fact is saying that books are not political is ridiculous because she has the third most banned book in the country in the United States. Her book,
Yeah.
This Book is Gay,
Mhm.
is the most challenged book. So it's a fact if you're saying that books are not political, it's like then why do you keep challenging and banning these books then? And trying to
Exactly.
get governments involved in reading. It's really,
God, I
really
hate it. I
ridiculous.
hate it so much.
Yeah.
I just hate it.
So, but we have each other for the
Yes.
next 4 years.
Check in on your friends, you know.
Check in on your friends. Check in on other people.
Mhm.
And if not, we are seriously going to consider looking into the citizenship of Canada.
No,
Oh,
you are.
I've
Not
heard
me.
things.
Yeah, they're not doing that great over there either, honestly.
They're not.
No.
They
Choose
should-
lesser of two evils.
I mean,
No, lesser of two evils is me going back to El Salvador, and I'm not doing that either.
Yeah, El
like,
Salvador's not bad now, right? Like,
Exactly.
I
No,
heard
but see,
things.
that's
if I'm
here's the thing.
leaving the country,
wait.
I'm going somewhere warm.
No, but here's the thing about El Salvador. Yes, the former president cleaned up all of the gangs by putting them all in jail. Like no, like basically, like you do not pass go, you do not collect $200, you go straight to jail, kind of thing.
He's a
If you're-
hardliner, yeah.
Yeah, hardliner, which is great. Honestly, he cleaned up a lot. Their economy is still shit, especially since it's based on U.S. currency and Bitcoin.
Oh no.
Yep.
I still don't understand what that is, but
Yeah. And also on top of that, he kind of may have done some shady shit in the sense that like yes, he like stepped away from the presidency like at the end of his term. His protege was going to be the one running and taking over, and then there was like a slight rumor that they were going to implement a clause that allowed him to run again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love the Latin American
that's gonna be us
politics.
in 4 years.
I
I'm
know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
It's true. It's true. Oh god.
it's like goddamn it,
Don't bring that to me.
Fascism. Yay.
fascist. Anyways, on
Yeah.
that note,
Hag.
On that
No.
note, let's
Let's move on to something more like
Let's
a
move to
form
what
of
we're originally
escapism.
gonna talk about.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is everyone currently reading?
Fahrenheit 451.
Oh, well, you could go. You could go.
Yes,
first.
yes. Start.
Sorry. So,
It was a choice between Fahrenheit 451 and 1984, and he chose Fahrenheit 451. It's a very like
it's a very poignant choice at this point. And I look honestly, this like disregarding most of its equivalency to what's going on in present day. I haven't read this book in probably about 20 years since I read it like back in high school. Uh, and I completely forgot that it's a manic pixie dream girl story.
I've never I don't want to say I've never read it.
No, I never
Okay,
read it, and
I've
I don't
read
think
it.
that's true.
I've read it so long ago that if you tell me whatever it's about, I'll believe you because I don't remember a thing.
So wait, Tabrizia, when was the last time you read Fahrenheit 451?
Never read Fahrenheit 451, and I don't think I was.
Based on that opener.
I know. I'm like, wait.
Okay, so like
I mean, it was a movie with what's his face?
Oh yeah, Michael B. Jordan.
Yes. See, we all knew that. I
I
didn't
think
even
it was a limited
explain it.
series.
Yeah, it was a limited series.
It was a
Yeah.
limited series.
But okay, no. So like the main plot of the book is or like the main setting is far future, no years given. But like people are basically desensitized. They're just kind of like hooked on watching TV and listening to music in their ears, which was in the 50s, such a novel idea of having like little earbuds tucked in there, just listening to radio and music
Oh, yeah.
24/7. In addition to that, the government has essentially like banned books, like written, like anything written. So anytime that a book is discovered, they send out the firemen, who go and torch the place where the book is found. So they'll burn houses, buildings, what have you, and just eliminate all trace of the written word. I thought it was a very novel choice to start reading that again, considering all the book burnings happening in the South. But reading it, I knew that there was like a kind of like weird like love story involved that I barely remembered. But it is a manic pixie dream girl story because Guy Murtaugh, who's the protagonist, is married to somebody who's constantly like knocking themselves out with sleeping pills, and is like kind of feels like trapped in this loveless relationship. Meets the child of their new neighbors, who's a 17-year-old girl,
Oh.
and like is instantly captivated by her. Like that actually jogged my memory for the rest of the book, where it's because of talking to her and talking to I forgot somebody like some other person, like some older like dude, where he's like prompted to start saving books, and in doing so joins the resistance. Don't remember how the book ends. I know it doesn't end happy, but yeah, it's kicked off because he meets a 17-year-old girl who he says has a face that's like reflective of the beauty of the moon and blah blah blah.
It is very
Oh,
manic
God.
pixie dream girl
Yeah.
coded.
Well, that's how you know this was written a long time ago, because you can't get away with that.
1951, yeah.
Yeah.
Ironically, the year before like earphones, were first introduced.
Stop it. Really?
Yeah.
If you asked me out of the blue, I would have said like that's from the 70s. Like, oh, that started in the 70s.
No, I actually this piqued my curiosity because he was talking about like he was calling them like little seashells that like are tucked into the ear.
Ah,
I was
okay.
curious. I was like, when were like earphones first introduced? Turns out they were first introduced in 1952.
He's a
That's
witch.
crazy.
Yep, he's a witch.
I think, yeah,
He's
no,
the
I'm,
future.
yeah,
Nice.
because
He predicted the future.
Yeah.
Oh my
he
God.
wrote
TV is
the
projected on the
Halloween
screens.
story, yeah, and something with this wicked way comes. Yeah, he might have some like psychedelic powers or something.
I mean, this is the 50s. This is even really before psychedelia like takes takes a hold of the nation too.
Yeah, and he got ahead of
Yeah,
it.
all of it, yeah. But it is like wild to read it and think about how close he nails the futuristic society. Where it's like the streets are empty, everybody just kind of like, stays at home or drives instead of walking on sidewalks.
Mm.
And I'm just
He's
like,
a witch.
yeah, I was like, this man sold his soul somewhere.
Him and
Clearly
the
not the devil,
Simpsons go together real bad.
like he's clearly saw something. He consulted the actual like was it Madame Zofri, the like fortune telling machine?
Yeah.
Got all the correct answers, wrote books about it. I don't know, man. Ray Bradbury saw something in the future.
Wait, did TVs blow up in that time? Like, were TVs like really becoming a thing in 51?
I believe the TV, like the home TV set, was starting to become a thing.
That could have jogged his like imagination.
But
Like,
like
oh, now we're all going to sit in front of the screen.
that's
You
the
know what I
thing. The
mean?
way he described it fits like today's perfectly because he describes it as being like screens that fill an entire wall and in
Mm,
your home.
Mhm.
yeah.
So yeah,
You
But
know
were
what?
they flat screens? So
Yeah, that's the
that's
question,
it. Yeah, I
isn't it?
mean, he didn't predict. No, he didn't predict flat
What
screens, but
was
he
the
did say
make
like,
and model? No.
yeah, what's the make? It was a Panasonic. So
Oh,
clearly he was way off.
No, no, but you know what? You know what that reminds me of though? Like there was an Archie comic, like cover or something. That was like I do not remember when it came out, unfortunately. However, that particular like one page comic predicted that people would be studying at home on their computers like instead of going out to school. So it was like Betty and Veronica like on their like little home computers like learning things for class.
So
And then the pandemic happened and like online learning became a thing. So I was just and it was very funny to like see that cover circulating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even before that, they did have online universities like Phoenix
Mhm.
University and stuff like
But
that.
for it
So
to become commonplace,
yeah,
like because it also like if it's an online university, it implies like you're a college student or something. Betty and Veronica and
we're high
that gang
school.
are high
Yeah,
school
oh
students.
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. That's true.
So like they don't look it, just but
Oh, for sure they don't. Yeah.
yeah. That's just what that reminds me of, and that's kind of very funny to think that like it's so wild what like what we think of the future, like what happens and what doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah. Meanwhile, now everything's just the destruction of Earth and us fucking some other world up.
Ooh, yeah.
Just saying that.
That was a double thumbs up for our listeners.
What else is everyone reading?
Um, I'm reading a romance, which is, I know this is like a huge U-turn because I normally don't read a lot of romance. But this one's different because this is a retelling of Jane Austen's Persuasion.
Oh, there you go.
Let's go.
There we go. So this is Once Persuaded, Twice Shy by Melodie Edwards. And probably the reason why I was saying moving up to Canada because this takes place in Canada.
Ah,
Um,
we
so
see
if you,
you now.
yeah, exactly. So if you don't know the story of Persuasion, it has this heroine, Anne Elliot, who is during the Regency time, she's considered to be like on the shelf. She's past her time. She let go of her first true love. In the original novel is Captain Wentworth. In the book that I'm currently reading now, his name is Ben Wentworth. And Anne allowed other people to persuade her to let him go. And she's been really heartbroken about it, and she's never really lived her life. And during this book, um, Once Persuaded, Twice Shy, it's like an 8-year time span that has happened,
Oh,
and
wow.
all of a sudden he has come back into her life. He is more successful. He's like an investor. And he's still not over the horrible breakup that they had. So she has to be in forced proximity with him and forced to work with him. And it's bringing up, of course, all these feelings coming back, but they're kind of starting to realize that their relationship has grown and they're more older and wiser. So it's like a very slow burn romance. But if you look at the cover, it gives very fall vibes. I love the cover. But it's also nice to not read a dark and spooky story. It's kind of uplifting. And I have an idea. Hopefully, I have an idea of how it's going to end. Because it matches with Jane Austen's wit and banter. The author does a very great job of not doing a retelling verbatim,
Mm-hmm.
but putting her own spin on it and making it more modern and contemporary. Because it talks about the pandemic and about how they want to do this outside theater because they had to do it during the pandemic, and they want to, even though they're outside of lockdown, they want to bring it back because it gives them more options and revenue. So there's more of like a modern like twist to it all.
Hmm,
That's pretty
that's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice, and and highly enjoyable. I also listen to the audiobook too, and the narrator does a great job as well.
Yeah. I do enjoy like a good retelling always. 'Cause
Mhm.
like with the Jane Austen it's always like you think I don't know. I guess there's also the aspect of like I kind of like knowing how it's going to end, but and knowing all the beats, but also like when you do read it along the way, like the experience is still different. So
Yeah, and I like this one because out of all Jane Austen's novels, Persuasion's not the one that gets the most retold. It's usually Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah.
So
for reasons.
exactly, for reasons, because it's her most popular one. So to have this one that's really hidden under the radar, but it's very well done, very well written, and it has you continue to be engaged into the story. And also it takes, which a lot of people have said, like, feel that Persuasion is her best novel out of all of her novels. It just gives a very nice, it's a lot different. It's not going just with the generic, oh, Pride and Prejudice, because everyone loves Pride and Prejudice. She went with, well, I'm going to do Persuasion because this one I think is a story that needs to be retold, and the author is absolutely right.
Would you consider Persuasion like a second chance romance?
Yes.
Okay. That's also probably like I feel like second chance romance like it is also getting a thing, getting like some circulation recently.
That is my
Yeah.
second favorite romance genre. It's enemies to lovers, then
Yeah.
second chance to romance is like
Yeah.
my favorite.
And then you kind of like, and you, it's, and you don't want to say like Persuasion is enemies to lovers, because it's not like Anne and Captain Whitworth don't like each other. It's just they don't know how to be around each other
Yeah.
because they have this tense history. But, and I mean, Austen just makes it a way that, oh, that Wentworth doesn't, is mad at her. She creates this tension, and that's what the this author
Yeah.
Edwards does so well too. She creates this tension of the close proximity they have to be with one another, and she kind of mimics that in the story.
Doesn't this end with like oh, I can't because I cannot recall if it's this one or Sense and Sensibility. Like which one was it that at the end it's like, wait, so you're not married? Like there's
Oh,
like
that's
miscommunication.
Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, okay. So I'm
My favorite
confused.
Jane Austen book. Minus like the questionable age gap of Marianne and the Colonel, but
we if you put your own modern sense to it, it's going to be weird. It's like talking about how Emma and Mr. Knightley could be together when Mr. Knightley held Emma when she was a baby. You don't think about those kind of things. Yeah, Chris,
Oh,
don't
see,
look at
I didn't know
Look,
that.
wait, considering I just talked about Fahrenheit
Ew.
451, where again it's a dude in his like mid-20s, hit like being
kind of the time.
fascinated, quote unquote, by a 17-year-old. Yeah.
I mean,
it's very Lolita of him, yeah.
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 Mr. Knightley was not in his mid-20s.
See, in his
I think
40.
I think 30.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And Emma was 18.
okay.
Again, it was okay at the time.
It was okay at the time.
Did,
But
did,
times
did any
change.
It was
Okay,
a different
but,
time.
like,
It was
Changed.
two things I want to mention. One, unfortunately, not the worst age gap I've ever seen.
Of course.
No.
Edward.
Second,
Edward
Oh,
Bella.
second, this reminds me very stupidly of I think Sabrina Carpenter celebrated her 25th birthday recently, and they gave her a birthday cake, a massive one, and it has the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio going, "No, you're 25, you're so sexy."
Oh my
No.
god.
You know what? I did not realize that was the girl, because I didn't watch the show, well, not obviously, but I didn't watch the show, but I didn't realize it was old girl from Girl Meets World. I didn't realize
Yeah.
Carpenter,
I
yes.
didn't
I
until
have
they
heard.
kept saying it. I was like, that's weird. Like,
Wait, what?
okay.
She was in Girl Meets World?
she was the
Mhm.
friend.
It was the friend.
Oh, she's a Disney kid. God damn.
She's a Disney kid. Why do you think she is the way she is?
I don't know. I don't know much about Sabrina Carpenter.
Same. I didn't think about her, and it was like, oh, okay.
So I just saw it on an Instagram.
Like all of
and
a sudden,
I thought
here
it was
she
very
is.
funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Evelyn, what are you reading?
I am reading, I have read because it's so short and it was free online, advertised by Chuck Tingle himself.
Yes.
an erotica story, and it's the first Chuck Tingle erotica story I've ever read. And I've heard so much about them. He has like a zillion of them,
He
right?
has
So
Yeah,
many
he
of them.
does.
he has
Like,
so
please tell me what you
many.
think of this.
So this one, it was on election day, and I guess I was on Tumblr of all places. Don't do that. But yeah. So then I follow him obviously, and he's like, check this out. So the title was Steve Kornacki pounded enthusiastically by his handsome election math. And for those of you not familiar with Steve Kornacki, I guess he's like a political commentator, wears khakis, and he's very enthusiastic about an election map. He's like pointing out everything, the results as they come in, that kind of thing. I haven't watched him in a long time, to be honest. I didn't even watch
Sorry,
him.
In
he
a
wears
real
khakis.
person or just
His khakis
very
are a
cute.
thing. Yeah, he's
Oh.
cute. Oh, Leslie Jones was obsessed with him, and that's why he kind of blew up, because she was like live streaming. Oh, this guy is amazing and everything. But yeah, so this is kind of like a parody of that, but like very different. And I won't go into detail because it gets very graphic, but it's kind of funny. Like when they have like a sentient thing, it's like it just becomes sentient. I'm like, well, how does that happen? Because it happens in all of his stories. Like someone gets pounded by like a book or like some kind of object or even like something random, and you're like, how does that happen? Well, I finally found out how it happens, and I'm just like, okay. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, it was entertaining and funny, and it was a good distraction on election day. So
I will also say, if anyone is also looking for comfort post-election day, Chuck Tingle's statement on on Tumblr and on Instagram was very good.
yes, that was so good.
Yes.
He's so great.
Mhm.
In trying times, always listen to Chuck Tingle.
Oh, yeah.
He'll brighten you in some way. That's
Yeah,
how he
love
is.
it. Always remember, love is real.
Yes,
It will never not be real.
100%. And in fact, let's pass it to Tessa.
Oh God. So I'll be honest, like I don't know how I got here. The thing I've been reading recently is a manga called Kamisama Kiss. And I believe this had an anime like somewhat time in the 2000s. I don't remember when the original run of this manga was, but I'm going to assume it was probably between like early 2000s onwards. And I don't know how I got here. I will say. I think I got there because I follow like quite a few people that love shoujo manga, and if they're obsessed with 2000 shoujo manga, this is one of the titles that pops up a lot. And it's a very well, speaking of age gap romance, um it's one of those romances I think that become like a supernatural god deity or being falls in love with a teenage girl in the present. So like that's like it's like an Inuyasha vibe, except like she doesn't go into the ancient past. But the overarching story is um this is I feel like this story is very close to Fruits Basket actually, because you have an orphan girl, an orphan girl, or essentially someone who's been abandoned by her parents. Um, and this is all coming from memory. This is off the dome. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm laughing because I'm looking at Whitney. I'm sorry.
No, I understand. But yeah, orphan girl, teenage girl, down on her luck, has no home to go back to, not accepted, I guess, by her like peers, etc., and like has a chance encounter with a random dude one day because he was chased up a tree by a dog. That man is so grateful that upon hearing that Tomoe, like, no, not that Tomoe. Tomoe is the other dude. What's her name?
Do you want me to look it up?
I know. Yeah.
Fact checker.
I have this, I swear. I have her name somewhere.
The name,
It's
the main
Nanami.
character?
Nanami, thank you. Her name is Nana.
Nanami,
So
yeah.
okay, the teenage girl's name is Nanami. God, I only remember Tomoe. um, The teenage girl's name was Nanami. Upon learning that Nanami has no home and no place to go, he basically says, "My home is yours." Gives her an address, and the address turns out to be like a shrine. And the shrine is like upkept and or like barely upkept. I think it's very old. And she's welcomed there because apparently this man she met is actually the local god of this area and gave her basically all of his like authority. She effectively becomes the new god of the area and is in charge of the shrine. And the aforementioned Tomoe is actually like his what do you call this? There's a term they use. It's not Shinigami. It's
Yokai? Familiar?
no.
Okay.
Oh, is it like a shrine protector?
Hokage?
Yeah, he's basically like he's basic. I feel like his like role in relation to the local god is actually like some sort of like sworn servant. So like
Familiar.
his like I think it's either a familiar or
Yeah, they call him a familiar.
yeah, they call him so yeah. And like um he's been the one who's been taking care of the shrine for like 20 to 30 years because the local god had left. So when Nanami comes to basically inherit the shrine, he is against it. He don't like it. He's not going to submit to her authority. But eventually he does because the way that the authority is is exercised from like so that he becomes her familiar is she has to kiss him. And she basically during like a very when she's about to basically die, he's just like, "Are you going to be so prideful that you're not gonna even ask me to save you?" And she's like, "No, I'm gonna ask you." And she kisses him and says, "You have to save me." And then like that's where their entire like whirlwind like relationship begins. It's a very push and pull of like she's kind of naive but also very kind-hearted and wants to be helpful to everybody. Tomoe wants to like keep her in line because like being a local god is a lot of responsibility and a lot of like red tape bullshit and bureaucracy actually because it goes deep into like all of that lore. And like the push and pull is like very interesting. And I'm already like at a point in the manga where they're like slowly like really like falling in love and getting together. But like obviously there's reasons why they shouldn't be because like he's technically like not human and she's like a human girl who's become a god, so like that's their main like conflict. So yes, it's very fun, very 2000s. Effective distraction. Also, like it kind of doesn't help that like Tomoe is like another silver-haired anime dude that will potentially ruin my life. So we'll
So,
see.
look, the blueprint that is my Prince Shishomaru.
Oh yes,
Ah!
yes, absolutely, 100%.
Oh my goodness.
I
So
think
yeah,
this
you all
the
mentioned this
I
was
think
getting
the
a resurgence.
reason why this is getting a resurgence is because it has like romanticy, like Beauty and the Beast kind of vibes. So I think a lot of readers are looking for more of that and they're going to that series and they're like rereading it.
They're just rereading old manga?
I mean,
Yeah.
it is very
And
like
it's done. Like no one has time to like
yeah,
I
in
guess.
it's
today's
a
world,
finished
like just
series.
waiting for the next chapter or the next volume of
No, you know what? You're right.
it's
Because
Mm-mm.
I
the
hate waiting for the
worst.
next like chapter for Dan Dan or like Meds Luminaire. I hate waiting for the next chapter, and then
Yeah.
it feels like it's only been 5 pages, even though the counter says like 20.
It's like, yeah, no one has time for that. And that's why I've been just to segue into me. I've been in like a media slump in general. Like either what I want to watch is not done or like what I want to read, I can't read it legally and it's not done.
Look, man,
So,
no one's gonna judge you for reading it illegally as long as you don't mention it on this podcast.
We're not reading illegally.
Which Never mind.
Oh. But what I am reading, what I am reading, what I'm so during just to kind of set it up. So, what was 2 weeks ago? It was 2 weeks ago.
Not the election.
That was this week, unfortunately, even though that's
It feels
also
like
like
2
2
weeks.
weeks ago.
It feels like 2 weeks.
So 2 weeks ago was ComicCon, and
I did not see you at ComicCon, and I'm so sorry.
that's your fault, and it's fine.
Yeah, it's absolutely my fault. Bruh.
Because you hate us,
It's
and that's
so
all right.
crowded.
It's okay.
It was crowded. It was
It
really
was,
crowded.
it was very crowded.
That's right. Everybody here except for me was at Comic-Con. How was that?
Yeah, I completely forgot. We should
Oh
have
my God.
mentioned that. It was fun. But yeah, it was a lot of people were there.
I feel like it was in like it was just more, even on Pro Day it was surprisingly crowded.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyone who knows me knows that I am obsessed with Babs Tarr, and hopefully she will never listen to this.
Love her! I
Yes.
went to her booth.
Yes. So I went to her booth like 3 times.
Oh, I need to tell a story later. Just go
I
tell
went to her booth like 3 times, and each time I was like, let me like I will finish Motor Crush, because those who don't know, like one of the co-creators of Motor Crush got Me Too'd, and thus Motor Crush is unfinished. So I was like, I will finish it. I will whatever. So I gave her my information, and unfortunately I haven't followed up. But basically she was like, slide into my DMs and pitch, like, and we'll figure something out. So I just started rereading Motor Crush so I can kind of remember what happened. But essentially what it's about, it's a cyberpunk, like it's not solar punk because it's still like a dystopia, but like the color palette is very like 80s, if that makes sense. It's very like bright and like pastels and like
That's
the
still
styling.
cyberpunk though. That's still cyberpunk.
Yeah, so it's like cyberpunk, and it's about this girl who she has cybernetic enhancements, and she's like a underground street racer, like a motorcycle type racer, to kind of get money for like her father's shop. And she ends up not just being an underground racer, but she also becomes like a legit racer, and she reconnects with her ex-girlfriend, and kind of to help her get like they have it's like kind of like Spice for you Dune readers. It's kind of like a liquid like enhancement drug where where they can where she like just goes super fast or whatever. And so during this, she reconnects with her ex-girlfriend, who's like this bubblegum pink. If Barbie and Rose Quartz / Pink Diamond merged together in one person, like this is what she would look like. And so you know, she's trying not to fall in love. I think her name is Max. She's trying not to fall back in love with her ex-girlfriend, even though obviously feelings are still there. And so she just gets caught up in like this racing world, and then during the second volume, it ends on a cliffhanger. She takes the enhancement drug and like disappears essentially, because it's like taking velocity, like V9, or like taking V, or taking like Velocity 9 for you Flash fans out there. It just really makes her so fast, and so she disappears, and that's where it ends. And I'm like,
You're just like,
what the fuck? I want it to be done. So this weekend is just me kind of rereading it, or finish rereading it, and then like sliding into Babs Tarr's DMs, because hey, if I can work on a comic, that would be fucking
Dude,
amazing.
that
Plus
would be-
why the fuck not?
Please.
Shoot your
Please.
shot.
So I'm gonna shoot my shot,
Yes.
and I know it's been like
Do
2
it.
weeks, but pretty much as soon as Comic-Con ended, I had to like rush up to Rochester to do some family stuff, and then I came back. So, and then immediately had to start working. So I haven't really had time, but hopefully she will remember me and she'll forgive me for being like 2 weeks late in reaching out to her. But I'm excited. She signed like 2 of my single issues that I have. And I bought like a couple of her own
Artwork.
art books.
Yeah.
And so she signed those as well. I have a picture with her that I have to I have not posted any of my Comic-Con photos, but I only took like 3.
Yeah.
Plus the one with Andrew, who totally did not know, forgot who we were.
Oh no.
That's a comic. That's a story for another day. Or after I finish. The second thing I'm reading is so a mutual friend of me and Tabrizia, he just randomly texted me a couple days ago to like read his book that you can get on
Amazon.
Amazon Kindle.
Oh, I was
And
that's a good guess.
and he was like, he prefaced like twice that like the main guy is such a dick, and I was just like, well, as long as it's not a self-insert, but he's such a sweetheart. So I told him I would dive into it, because it's based in Florida. I'm like, has he lived in Florida?
Oh, it has the Florida like
Yeah.
what's it
Yes.
called?
But he's
It
from
does.
like his family is in Boston, so I think he's from Boston. So it's definitely gonna be different than what I normally read and what I'd like to read. But he put himself out there, so I figured I'd give it a
Like
shot,
why not? Yeah.
support him. So I'm gonna start reading that. And I like his little icon and his Amazon book on his Amazon storefront. It's kind of cute.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
See that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
The little icon.
It's like a meme image.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So
I appreciate this. No, my silly little Babs Tar story is that when I was at NYCC, I was only there for 1 day, and I was rushing just to see like all the artists that I wanted to buy stuff from, and I always go to Babs like booth to buy stickers because those
wrong
stickers are
stickers.
insane. And I told her
Is that the one where you got me the Wolverine from?
that's where I got you the Wolverine from.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and also the do you remember the
The
Hobie Brown
Brown,
sticker?
yeah.
Yes, that was for you.
Nice. That was from last year.
So yeah, I mentioned like, oh, I was here last year. I've been looking for this sticker like every time, and she's like, I ran out of it, etc. But like, I bought more, obviously, and I think during the time that I was peeking through the sticker album, I was in someone's way, so I was like, oh, sorry, and I moved like so that they could get the other sticker album to peruse. And Babs like slammed her hand to the table on me and was like, never apologize, you're perfect. And I'm just like, I've been having a really bad week, and you're going to make me cry in the middle of Comic-Con. Please don't.
No, I love
Ryan.
Star. I love her so much. I'm like, marry me, but also
Yeah.
it's fine if we don't.
Look,
like,
honestly, the synopsis of Motor Crush does make me very intrigued by it.
Yes.
Well, you can next time we see each other in person, just remind me and I'll let you borrow the 2 volumes that have been published. I want them back though. But
Obviously.
It does.
Oh yeah.
But-
Look, I only ever kept one graphic novel, and it was Old Man Logan, and I don't even know how I ended up with it from my friend, because I'm not the one who borrowed it.
And it's so funny that you said that, because I just gave Tabrizia. I've had them in my possession for like 2 years, and I just gave Tabrizia back her Blue Period comic. And she did not know that they were.
I did not.
That's how you know
She
you have
gave it to
too
me
many
and like,
Actually, To be
she gave
fair,
it to me back, and I'm like, why are you giving me this? And she's like, these are yours. Like, both are
Oh my
not.
god, that's so funny.
no,
That's how you know
to
I
be
have too
fair,
many books in your house, Tabrizia.
to
Yes.
be fair, wait. To be fair, I did when I got the art book for Spider-Verse Across the Multiverse, the second movie. I showed it to a friend of mine who's also a huge Spider-Man fan and everything, loved the movies, and he was just like, I swear to God, I could just go to your house, take any of your art books, and you would not realize it until like a week or two later. And I was like, "Psh, you could take an art book from the house, and I wouldn't realize for like a year later."
Oh my god.
And it's true.
It's probably true
Yeah,
for me
same.
too, because I'm like, I was like, why is she giving me these? And then it didn't. It took me until I saw the book Kino Kuniya sticker on it. I was like, oh, yeah, I did buy these.
You did buy them. Which I should have, I mean, not, I went to Kodansha house. Did we talk about this last time?
Kodansha
No, we
house.
didn't.
In the meantime,
And,
Tessa and I also made it there finally.
yeah, and I got the blue period. I got it with a she something
That's
board.
Oh, nice.
awesome.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
cute.
but because I'm amazing in every way, I made friends with a young person and they had an extra copy of Blue Period Volume 2, which so happens to have like a gender bending non-binary character on the
I
cover.
love them.
And who
I don't
Ruka?
remember them.
That's the
And-
one who's in the girl's uniform. Don't you remember?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Been a
And
while.
so she was there and the author was there. I was wearing my soju shirt and the author, and both the translators were like, your shirt's amazing. And I was just like, and that's fine. But Kodansha House in general was great. It was just
It
packed.
was really good.
What a great
Yeah.
time.
No, Tessa and I finally made it there on like the last night.
The night before the
night
last
before
one.
the last night, yeah, because we
Yeah.
went there on Friday, and I gotta say it was hilarious because the line for the Akira bike was all out the door, and then the line for Attack on Titan had two people on it.
Did you
Because it's
did you
like,
do the hoodies?
No, we didn't. We did take the video for the Attack on Titan as we were like leaving because the guy was like, "You guys want?" Because Tessa wanted to check out the like
The
how they actually
model.
the models, like the how they did the city and everything. And the guy there was just like, "You guys want to just do the video?" And I was like, eh. She's like, "You don't gotta put the hoodies on. You can just stand there." So we did it. It was funny as fuck.
We have a cute
Mini I'm glad because I was just like, the hoodies sound cool, but do they wash them? And like,
Look,
how many
to be
people have
fair, I
worn
did put on
these?
the Akira. I did put on the Akira jacket. Like,
Well,
absolutely, 100%. That thing weighed like 20 pounds, but it was amazing.
It definitely weighed 20 pounds. Holy shit, dude. And I did like a cute little art of like one of the Akira arts that's
right, you did.
there. And I feel like that cemented the experience for me. Getting to see like so much of that art on the walls was beautiful.
it was a great experience.
The
And
which had atelier like art.
Oh yeah,
I
that's right.
know that
was
was
so great.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God. And then what, a couple days later, I went to the Bleach thing, which both Morita Morikazu and who's the Japanese voice of Ichigo and the
Ichigo.
Japanese voice of Uryu Ishida, aka also the Japanese voice for Sasuke from Naruto, for those that
Sasuke!
don't know.
Sorry.
We're both there, and it was like their first time in the States and New York in general. So I was just like, ah. And so we got to see the third episode of Bleach before it came out like a week early.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
dope.
Is this Blood War? Is this 1,000 Year Blood War?
Yeah.
yeah.
Noise.
So that was a good week. And then and then we're in hell.
And now we're back to the present where everything
Mm.
sucks.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah. But yeah, that the reading stuff is awesome.
Everything is
Just
awesome.
Really quickly before we move on, I do want to
Yeah.
mention that because I have so much time, at my job.
Still?
I
Did you not get your setup yet?
Oh no, I do. I have my numbers. I can like take cash, checks, money orders, tell people why they don't have financial aid. But I still have enough time to go through volumes of comics.
Oh.
I went through The Amazing Spider-Man, the Dan Slott one with like after he comes back after Octavius takes over his body, he comes back and has to do damage control to everything in his life. So I've read through all of that, which also is a part of the like Spider-Verse arc, which I will say I much prefer the movies to the comic book arc because that is so long and sprawling and makes absolutely no goddamn sense.
Damn.
Like, holy shit. Anyways, I just had to get that off my chest. Also, Venom is awesome. Like the comic series.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Yes.
the comic series for Venom with like Eddie Brock coming back and everything was absolutely amazing, and everybody should read it, even if Null is in there for like random moments and it makes no sense with his son. Great series. Huh.
What?
You got off your chest.
Dude, I've been reading so much Spider-Man because the library has nothing else.
Really,
Hold on.
we really, when we wanted the Spider-Man library card, we went gun ho on all
Oh yeah,
Spider-Man
no, you don't understand. I've been looking for like Nightwing. I've been looking for Teen Titans. I've been looking
my
for
God.
literally anything else. But I've been looking for X-Men, and
Oh
all I
my
keep
God.
finding is
God.
Spider-Man, and I'm like, yeah, okay.
We don't really have a lot of X.
No, there's no X-Men. Every time I look for X-Men, there's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on. Like, give me something. Give me something with Gambit. Give me something with fucking Cyclops and Rogue, please.
God.
I'm just laughing. Dude. Like,
Chris goes on a Marvel rant.
Just the Marvel yeah.
that's
Marvel
that-
catalog
that's the
rant.
clip. That's the clip for this episode. Just go to the Marvel rant. There's nothing except Spider-Man at the library. Don't give me pictures of Spider-Man.
Look, I love Spider-Man. Stop giving me pictures of Spider-Man, please. Give me something else.
Oh my god.
Oh
God.
my God.
Like, fucking give me
Did you see the
Daredevil and
movie
his
now?
Catholic
I'm so
guilt
sorry.
for the love of God. Something else.
Oh,
With that,
oh,
let's move on to our main topic for this episode. It's the battle of the reading chapters.
oh.
We have the story graph versus Goodreads. So let's start off with talking about the story graph. So I wanted to first off and say, like, who is on story graph besides me? Because I know I am on it.
Look,
Who
I
Is
is
this
remember.
the app you showed me that time we were
Yes.
at the Richard Armitage event?
Yes.
I remember Tabrizia
Okay.
had showed the group chat. I don't remember if it was in person or if it was through the group chat itself about Storygraph and like mentioning it and how like it charts your reading progress and everything. And I remember thinking it was cool, and then I just never got on there.
Right. Yes.
I had
That
made
is
an
it.
account maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, probably when Tabrisha first told me about it. But then I haven't really kept up with it. I'm sure if I logged in, it'll be
Just a
great.
flat line.
Yes. Quick side, I think it's so funny. So this week, every week at the job, we I like my department in which I work hosts a weekly virtual staff meeting, and then this week we talked about how staff can find books or where they get their books from. And this is the most active Tabrisha has ever been. And
Mhm.
even my boss was like, Tabrisha was actually quite I was just like, well, it's Tabrizia. And it's funny because one of like how we find books or where we get books or keep track of books, we mentioned Goodreads, and Storygraph and Library Thing. I haven't used Library Thing in like 10 years, but I just find it funny that once again our job is worse than Facebook and listening in on our conversation. Because how is this meeting we're talking about essentially Goodreads and Storygraph, and then here we are talking about it in the podcast, which was planned, mind you.
I know.
But
no, go ahead.
No, I just find it kind of ironic, but I would like I don't have, and I know I'm like skipping ahead. I'm more comfortability with Goodreads because I've been using it since like for the past however long it's been around.
I mean, I get that because I was reluctant. Well, I wasn't reluctant. I actually was more acceptable of going onto the Storygraph. So, probably for our listeners, the Storygraph is another website of a reading tracker where you can track your you put your reads and you can track it with a reading goal, but it is like Goodreads, but way more, in my opinion, in the sense that, and like the owner, who is Black owned, she's a Black woman who owns, and she has created this website. She says it's more about the book and the reader itself. So it's putting more of the focus on the reader, like giving you stats of what types of book that you like to read. So it goes into details like, oh, so you're the type of reader who likes to read less than 300 pages, and your reading preferences, like, oh, you might like romantic or suspenseful or character-driven stories. It goes really high into detail, and it does a lot of, and it has it in its name, it does a lot of graphs, a lot of like scatter plots or line graphs or bar graphs. But it has grown into so much more because it now gives you a monthly wrap up, and it puts it into a graphic so you can share it wherever you want, and you can do like buddy reads with other people. You're not able to do that with Goodreads. And also what I really like is like you can track your audiobooks too. So you can put audiobooks onto the Storygraph. And you can like say that you read an audiobook on Goodreads, but you can't put the minutes or the percentage.
Gotcha.
Yeah, on Goodreads. It still says, oh, how many pages have you reached so far? And you're like, but I'm reading an audiobook. There are no pages. With the Storygraph, it does count. Like you either can put the percentage or the amount of minutes, hours and minutes you have read with the audiobook. And also a great thing is you can also put fan fiction on there too. So if you read a fan fiction, yeah.
wait, no, stop right there.
Yeah.
Wait, it would have like the actual title or things like that?
Or so you are able to add your own add a book. If it's not in there, if it's not in the storybook Storygraph database, you can add a title. So you just have to mark and say it's not a book.
Okay.
But you can put in a fan fiction that you've read, and it will count it towards your goal.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. Goodreads used to do that, and then Amazon bought it. Oh, so I've read, and this is something else that we talked about during our work meeting. But I'm like, I've read my 100 book goal, but like half the things, because they're not officially published in the States yet. So half the things I've written don't count, and you can't add them. You have to like reach out to the quote unquote librarians of Goodreads, who again are not getting paid to do any of the cataloging. And I'm just like, if you're not, why then let us just put it in there. Like if you're not paying these people to catalog or to
That's
input
so fucked.
information, then why not? Like, I mean, look, for that, my other than to track my reading goals, or to like to put in like my reading goal counter of 100 books, I don't really use Goodreads like that, honestly. I wish there was a Goodreads for TV shows, which I'm sure is like Rotten Tomatoes, but it's more just like,
I don't think that
Right?
counts.
right?
No, I don't
Like,
think it does.
I'm just like good shows instead of Goodreads. I don't know. Where it's more
I'm sure it exists.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
like that. What's that? It's not Rotten Tomatoes, but it's like, what is it? Something box?
Yeah, I was just thinking of the same
Oh,
one. Something
Redbox.
no, Redbox is a renting
Oh,
service.
that's a rental thing. It's like
Yeah.
letterbox, I think.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, I think you're right.
Letterbox,
I think
yeah.
that's it.
So but I like but with the goal feature of like you should watch, like you can watch 100
This many,
movies,
yeah.
or like keeping track of things that you've watched, and similar to Storygraph where it can kind of recommend you other things.
Yeah.
Um
And it recommends it based on what you've read. And
Yeah.
then also if you have Storygraph Plus, it gives you advanced, like more advanced reading recommendations, like based on, instead of based on like your reading preferences, it will give you based on that particular book that you just read, and it will find you more reading recommendations on that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No,
And then also you can create your own challenges. So you don't have to, so it's not like, unlike with Goodreads, it's just that Goodreads challenge and that's it. Storygraph has many challenges that you can either sign up for on your own, or you can create one of your own, and you can either make it public so other people can join the challenge, or you can just keep the challenge just for yourself. And it's open, and you can leave it open-ended. You just have to leave the date blank.
That's interesting.
That
Yeah.
is.
I don't know. For me, so I don't fully remember when I got Goodreads. I know it's been years. And I stopped keeping track with Goodreads like a while ago. I think it's cuz after a while my reading got so sporadic that I didn't feel the need to keep track of it. So the only record that's on there is whatever I've read, like if I borrowed it through the library and I read it on Kindle, it's kept track of that. Or if I bought a book and I read it on Kindle, it's kept track of that. But other than that, I have not inputted any data that I've read outside of Kindle.
Yeah, same. I got lazy.
Yeah, that's probably it too. I know for me, I was like trying to keep up with it when it's not like automatic. Kind of just, I just fell off of it, honestly.
The thing is, like with me, how it turned me off from it is like a lot of, at first, like it just felt so outdated, and it felt like it was not adding new features. It just kept keeping it the same.
Same
And that was
thing.
like probably due to the fact it was owned by Amazon, and Amazon, with anything book related, they just thought it was their stepchild and just
Which
didn't
is
want to deal with
so
it.
ironic. I want to say
Yes.
it's so ironic considering they started off as a book company.
Exactly. And I'm like, wait, you started as a book company and you're not putting more resources and energy in making this. You bought it and making it into this big conglomerate because now publishers and authors rely on it a lot, because I had an author, and I can say it's Julio Anta, and he DM'd me and asked me, "Oh, can you post a review on Goodreads?" And I DM'd him back and says, "Okay, I'm only doing it for you because I like you, but normally I don't post on Goodreads anymore." And I told him like the list of reasons, and he was like, "Yeah, I get it. I shouldn't care so much about it, but I told him I get it too, because a lot of publishers and authors, they rely solely on the promotion of Goodreads. and they've cornered that market. But it has become just such, for me, like not only like an outdated website, but it's such a toxic place. And a fact that they don't really promote marginalized authors and authors of color. And what really showed me that was like with their Goodreads Choice Awards.
I hate the Goodreads Choice
I
Awards.
That's voted by the
Those at
people?
all.
Yes, but here's the thing. So the algorithm with
all hail the
how
algorithm.
the nominations are chosen is very, very flawed. So what have they have said is that a way a book is nominated is either if it has like a high rating or it has been added on a person's shelf a certain amount of times during their period.
Interesting.
So it can have like a 3.5 rating, but it has a chance of being nominated because it was added on people's shelf a lot of times during that calendar year.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is a very, very weird and also due to the high rating, people would just rate it 5 stars without actually reading.
Yeah,
And
their
that
rating system was not reliable for a long time, and I think that's
yeah.
why I kind of fell off of like looking
Yeah,
for
and it's still not
recommendations there.
reliable. Yeah, it's still not reliable because it's still based on that.
Hmm.
So a person could give it 5 stars after adding it to their shelf because the author just announced like, oh, this is my new book, and they're giving it 5 stars and they haven't read it yet.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah.
published yet, and they're all bombing it with the opposite of bombing, I guess.
Yeah. But
5
then
stars.
you also have the review bombing that happened, I want to say last year.
Yep.
With that one particular
Look, I
author.
heard about it from Tessa, so
I listened to many a video about it. The
Yeah,
tea
and they were
spilled all over the internet.
yeah, and how and if you look at like last year's Goodreads choice nominees, like especially in the romance category, and a Black romance author, she actually um highlighted it and actually gave me towards it, like Kennedy Ryan.
Ooh, yes.
All the entire nomination list, they were all white women.
Yeah, that's
sounds bad.
There was not any person of color, not any LGBTQ author.
But I also feel like that is very indicative of our current political climate.
Yes, it is.
Hey,
bring it back.
Bringing it right back.
You're bringing it back.
Hey.
But to be fair, like the whole thing with reviews and everything, that going back to what Whitney was saying about like things being viewed at like TV shows, movies, Rotten Tomatoes falls under the same, scrutiny where it's like this movie hasn't even come out yet. Why the hell is it already being reviewed by? Like
Yeah.
I think that's actually probably why I stopped using Goodreads as well, is like I just stopped believing in whatever the rating system was, especially when I started seeing like verified, reviewer, verified, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't trust any of you guys because it sounds like you are just saying the same shit over and over again.
And also
I
sounds
don't
like you got
trust
paid to
reviews
review
in
And
it.
it also got
I don't
listen
you
to
got paid to
reviews in
read it. And
general.
I'm like, if I got paid to review it, I'd also probably could have put in a very positive review. Like, shit.
Well, I mean, that's what like with Kirkus reviews, a lot of them are paid.
Right.
And Publishers Weekly. So, but I mean, like the essence of Goodreads was like a social network for readers and book lovers. But then when you bring in like a big conglomerate like Amazon, who just makes it more of a money making scheme,
Yep.
then it turns into mayhem and nonsense.
It does, and it does make me sad because I do remember a point of time where I was using Goodreads to be like, oh, this book sounds interesting. Let me see what its rating was on Goodreads. And if it was like 3 or above, I would actually be like, okay, this actually sounds. If I liked what the like the summary said or like what the book jacket said, and it had like a 3 or above on Goodreads, I'd be like, yeah, all right, you know what? Maybe I will like this book. But then, yeah, everything started becoming like verified reviewer and shit like that, and I just stopped trusting it.
I think that's what I like
Yeah.
about the story graph is because the rating. So the only rating that will be at the top is your rating. If you don't have a rating, there's nothing. The rating for the book is at the you have to scroll down at the bottom.
See,
So it'll
that's
give you
interesting.
yeah, so it'll give
Hmm.
you like the 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 genre terms that might gear you towards the book. And then it has a AI description saying that, oh, why you, and it'll generate something like, oh, this is why we feel that this book is for you. And then if you want to see the rating and other people's reviews on it, then you scroll down. And then it gives like, there's like content warnings if there is a content warning, um, different percentage of what type of book it is, and stuff like that.
That actually sounds really cool, actually. I'm not ecstatic about the AI, but that's just me.
Well,
Same.
I mean,
I
It must be.
yeah,
Yeah.
You cannot escape
that's
it.
I
yeah,
know, and it
It
pisses
is
yeah.
me
the
off.
internet.
I mean, it's like it's only because it has the story graph preview and then it gives you a personalized and then that's it. That's the only AI thing that it has
No,
there.
honestly, I'm being very general about it, and I think for me it's more like I just hate the way AI is being tossed about. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not
Yes.
actually artificial intelligence. Stop calling it that.
Yeah, it really isn't.
Because this shit has existed before. Stop calling it AI. It's not artificial intelligence.
I think for me, it just stems from it has its it does have some like cool
Merit.
uses and it does have merit. But one, I would like I don't like the fact that in this situation, if someone could feed our podcast through and like copy our voices and you know if
Right.
they wanted to do something they could repost it and pretend this is our podcast. And then and the other side of that is at some point it's it's going to be an excuse not to pay actual artists and
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Artists, voice actors, creators in general,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like it's just a way for them not to pay pay people to do to do the work because capitalism. And
Gotta love
like
it.
and that's and also it's just like have I know it's just a movie, but we've seen Terminator. Like
Yes.
No, this is all right. Again, going back to
Skynet, the
Fahrenheit
birth of
451,
Skynet.
Cyberdyne, yeah.
Actually,
the 50s.
Cyberdyne.
The 50s predicted this shit, and they were like, hey man, this is actually a bad route to go down. 1984 came out, and they're like, hey, the global market being captained by like 5 people is a bad idea. And it will only generate warfare and profit for a select few, and you just have to go along with it. It's been said, it's been done. People do not read, and they just burn books instead.
I hate it. I hate it.
Anyways, going
Oh my
back to
god.
Storygram. No, I
Yeah.
did read one of the
That
I
was
did
the
read one of the
capitalist
articles.
rant
Yes.
I
by
know.
Chris. No.
No, I did read one of the articles that Tabrizia did share to the group, and the idea of sharing like or like rating something with a half star, a quarter star. I actually didn't realize that Goodreads didn't do that.
No, it doesn't do that.
But then I thought back to
Yeah.
like one of the last books that I read, The Adventures of Perilous Grave, which is a bonkers book, by the way, about Louisiana, and how like 3 different New Orleans, kind of working in tandem and against each other, which is if anybody, what's the V.E. Schwab book,
Which one?
A Darker Shade of Magic?
Yes.
Yeah. If you've read A Darker Shade of Magic and like, you're familiar with the 3 Londons and stuff like that, this is kind of the American version.
That's
Starring like it's focused on like African American central characters, New Orleans, big band, jazz, and all of that, and like graffiti art, and kind of like what what your dreams are, what your motivations for like what you choose to do in your life are, and how big events can impact that. And like honestly, it hit me in a way that I was not expecting. But I will say the writing of it actually threw me off a lot. So I would not have given it like I think I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads when I would actually give it like maybe a 3.5, or if I did like maybe three and like 3/4 or something like that. Like
Yeah,
it
it has
wasn't,
that.
and like here's the thing, it's because after a while I was like, oh, this book's not actually for me. Like there's a certain part of it, like the artist part, that does resonate. But then there's a whole nother cultural aspect where I'm like, oh no, no, no. This is not for me. Unfortunately. This does not speak to me and like who I am as a person, but there's definitely a demographic out there that will read this and it will hit them right between the eyes. You know what I mean? Like, and it was honestly good, and I was actually, it was good enough that I was like, where is there a sequel to this? Or like a second book that this author has done with
In the same vein.
in the same vein? And it's like, no, he's done another book of short stories, but that's it. And I
Yeah.
was like, damn it.
To see, that's the beauty of Storygraph, because you could give it, if like, you have 0.0, 0.25,
Whoa.
0.5, 0.75, and then 5, the highest.
Yeah, and I'm like, nah, actually thinking about it, maybe I would have given it a 4.5. It hit me hard. Like there was a lot like touching on like the life of an artist and what giving up your dream, like giving up your art actually feels like. Where I was like, no, this actually did hit me hard in that aspect. And then there was like for anybody who's like anybody in America who's heard of like Paul Bunyan and like those types of like archetypical folk heroes, there is something in there that relates to that, and it hits in a way where it's like, oh yeah, no, the folk heroes are larger than life, but what happens when they're actually afraid of something? And I'm like, Perilous Graves was oddly enough a very well written book, even if it felt like it was for young readers. It was not.
Dang.
Yeah. And that's on my Goodreads. Because I borrowed it from the library, so it's on. I read it on my Kindle.
Well, I mean, and that's all, like, speaking of Kindle, because you're able to, because it will give you, Storygraph will give you a pie chart of the different formats you
Oh.
read a book. So it will give you like for print, digital, audio, and then so she has a the owner, she has a roadmap that she will share with the users monthly. And one of her features that she would like to include for the future is reading 2 of the same formats at the same time.
Ah.
So if you're reading like the print version and also the audiobook version, because some, like, I do this sometimes. I will listen to the audio, but then for a little bit, and then I'll just pick up the print book and read the rest of it.
Oh.
So she's trying to create like a if you're reading the 2 of the formats of the same book simultaneously, and track it and putting it into your tracker. So
That's
she
actually
always like
pretty cool.
thinks like creative, innovative ways of, and that's like my annoyance with Goodreads, because I'm like, you're still, you don't even have the website in dark mode. I mean, everyone else has it in dark mode, and you're still stuck on like this bright ass like website.
Not a priority.
Evidently not.
It really
Is there a
isn't.
way, is there a way to put Amazon in dark mode?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think you can actually, because
That's my brother.
yeah, I definitely have Chrome set to dark mode, so anything that can be in dark mode will
Right.
be in dark mode.
Hmm.
Amazon does not.
Exactly. So it's like, what
I
are
am
you
so
doing?
sorry that I am like a heathen that doesn't use dark mode.
Yes.
I don't use
I
dark mode.
bet. Look,
No,
I bet your phone is on its highest brightness.
My
I
phone
feel
is
like
actually not on its highest brightness.
it comes
No, that's
around
either
like
way.
everyone was using dark mode. That I feel like it's kind of became like a rebellious thing to not use it.
Ironically, right?
Yeah. So then
I'm not
and then
doing
it's
it
blowing up
religiously.
again, right?
Wait,
So now
wait,
everyone's
so
using non-dark mode.
so at my job, because I technically have two stations, I have my own cubicle and then I have like the cashier's window. I link everything through because they use Microsoft, so every like profiles are set to duplicate themselves depending on where you log in. So whenever I put in dark mode, I realize that it's not put in like the cashier's window, and I'm like, no, go back to dark mode. I can't stare at this bright light this entire time.
Oh my
God
god.
damn.
Dude, even with my glasses have fucking
Anti-glare.
anti-glare and
Blue light
the blue
blocker.
light blocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even with that, by Friday, my brain like I start feeling that like headache,
Hmm.
I
and I'm
think
like,
that's
I
been
don't.
happening to me.
It's like I don't. You yeah. I was like, I gotta either take off my glasses or just not look at a screen all day.
Take
It's
a
the
walk.
screens. It's the
I
screens.
do. I
Even if it's
walk
in
to
dark
Central
mode.
Park
Mm.
and
Well,
like I just chill out there and eat my lunch, but it's not enough.
in the sun though, do you put sunglasses on, Chris?
I have prescription sunglasses, thank you very much, because I got upsold like 5 years ago. They were very convincing about selling me sunglasses with prescriptions.
No way.
I remember that day.
No, it was honestly like kudos to that salesperson. Like they sold me Ray-Bans, prescription
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Wow.
There you go.
So what we
Just
should
because they
have
were like the
now,
Ray-Bans won't cost you anything. You just had to pay for the prescription.
Oh.
we should just do our next unsponsored unsponsored thing that we do should be glasses. A sponsored promotion episode that we do should
Yeah,
be
do you go to
our
Cohen's
glasses.
Yeah.
Optical or do you just buy from I Buy Direct?
Oh,
I
wow.
Where do you buy your
direct all
glasses?
day.
Actually,
Next
all
episode.
5 of us wear glasses.
Yeah, we all wear
We do.
glasses.
We do. Yeah. See, it hurts my eyes so much. I'm not wearing them right now. I'm
Look,
looking at the
honestly,
screen.
I could
Well, I
probably
can't
do
even
this
see
without
if
my
I took
glasses
out my
on, but
glasses.
like, I'm so used to wearing them.
Like, so I love my glasses now, but I think sometimes they're just because they're such a large frame, sometimes they're too much for my face, or my face feels like overstimulated. So I do take them off to just be like, ugh.
Actually, so I have 2 glasses that I currently use. There's the like larger green see-through frames, and then there's those black like straight edge ones. And I've noticed that my headache actually gets worse with the green ones, which are like larger, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a like the prescription doesn't work with that size. But dude, they by the end of the day, my like vision hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like one day I was contemplating like, should I get contacts?
Look, I'll be honest, I'm so used to seeing glasses on my face that I think my face actually I've been told I have a very scary, like just kind of resting face. And so
What?
Say resting bitch face. It's fine.
I don't know. They don't call it resting bitch face. Like I've had coworkers when I was working at Blick at the art store where they're like, "You kind of just look scary." And
Are they
I'm like,
calling you like Clark
I'm not
Kent?
saying
Like you take it off and then it's like
"No,"
someone else.
and I'm like, "I don't think so." But like I've had like people tell me that with glasses on. So I'm just like if I don't have my glasses, I feel like I'm a little bit scarier. And I'm
That
like I
feels
don't
a little charged to me.
That's interesting.
That feels a little charged to
I
me.
don't know. It's like honestly I think it also at the art store I was also breaking frames over my kneecap, which could also lead to that scariness.
You scared your coworker by saying like, "Oh yeah, this is just how we get rid of these." Cracked a fucking frame over his knee and throw it out into the street. And she
He's
looked at
just
him like,
asserting his dominance, Tessa. It's fine.
No,
"That's
I
what I
wasn't.
said. That's what I said."
Uh,
I was just like, no. When you have a large frame, you have to actually break it into pieces to throw it out.
You didn't
It's
have to
just
break it over your knee.
what was I gonna do? Break it on the floor? No, that doesn't work. You have to break it on an angle, so hence therefore I used my knee.
Oh my gosh.
no way. No way. Mm-mm.
Bruh.
I still think it was a little charged, but also it is OD to break something over your knee. So
Yeah. No,
I
mean-
definitely.
Don't do it.
at least
Don't
your
do
knee
it.
is fine.
That's what I was gonna say. You don't want to mess up
Well,
your
yes,
knee.
now it is. But however, I will as I get older, my knees get swollen, and I don't like that.
You're one.
No.
I am. As the weather changes, my knees start swelling.
I've gotten to the point where no shoes are comfortable on my feet. So now I'm like, I have to get like easy spirits or something.
Look, no. I
Yes.
recently bought new shoes. I bought Skechers, and
Slip-ons. Get your slip-on.
Skechers slip-ons. However, I cannot wear Skechers when they have those elastic shoe like where you can't tie shoelaces.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
those are the ones that I bought. And I'm like trying to figure out ways to tighten the shoes. It's so
This
bad,
is
but they have the arch
hilarious.
support that I need.
Like I feel just so old.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. Let's compare orthopedic shoes, guys.
Oh my god. If you
God.
have any recommendations for orthopedic shoes,
Please.
no, every once in a while I still wear Converse as a
maybe
treat.
some Dr. Scholl's.
Oh, I haven't worn Converse since I was like 19.
Oh,
There's
I
no
can't
way.
wear them anymore. especially
Exactly.
Going to so many concerts and now everything's freaking GA.
God.
no, you can't talk. You've just been wearing Crocs most of the time.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
that's the only
oh,
thing
I'm
that I can
sorry.
wear now,
Like-
just like my Crocs, but sometimes
So
I don't want to have to wear
I'm
them.
sorry, I have executive dysfunction. Crocs help me go outside and walk. What do you
Oh my
want me to do?
God.
Not wear shoes?
A big deterrent why I have a gym up the street, it's Blink, and I was like, oh, I could just go. They don't let you wear Crocs on the treadmills. I was like, that's a huge deterrent.
Because it's dangerous.
Wow.
Look,
They're-
wait, to
they're
be fair,
No,
So-
it's
Not that
dangerous. You,
dangerous.
And
It
I'm
always
not
Yes, it
lifting
is.
weights,
no, you
I'm
gotta put them
walking on
into
the
speed
treadmill.
mode.
Yes, you
Hey,
have to put
Yeah,
them-
who's going that fast in Crocs? Come on.
I'm not.
some people
I've never
will be
run.
that dumb. Some people will be that dumb.
I'm not that dumb.
Well, you know, some people
or
will be
dumb
that
at
dumb.
all. But
Look, to be fair, last year when I was doing the murals, me and my coworker, we were going to, we're in Jamaica, Queens,
I was about to say,
and we were going to our high school. We were like kind of walking up to it, and this dude just showed up out of nowhere, like skating past us on a skateboard in Crocs. And both of us just looked at him like, what the flying fuck? You're skateboarding in Crocs. And I'm just like, something about this just does not compute.
My day was Vans.
I like-
had to wear the
I like Vans.
to
I cannot wear
skateboard.
Vans anymore, apparently. Unless
Oh
they're,
no, we can't.
unless they're a specific type, I cannot wear Vans, I found out.
You can't be seen at Vans.
No, I would love
Aw.
to be seen in Vans.
No, but also like the Crocs. Don't disrespect my Crocs. They're Pokemon Crocs, and I love them.
They are. You matched with a tiny child in Flushing the one time.
Oh.
It was an H Mart.
Oh, it's an
Oh my
H-Mart. I'm so
God.
sorry.
They had
Oh, my
they had the
goodness.
kids
They had the
version.
kids versions. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
No,
I do
honestly, it
love
was very
that.
cute. It was
I do
very
love that.
sweet. But like, I will roast you forever for Crocs.
I'll buy you one for Christmas.
I fucking dare you.
I'll get you
So,
I'll get you Gengar
so,
cards, and you will think they're the best thing that you've ever worn.
Never.
oh my God.
Motherfucker.
Fucking
This is
clap.
like a threat.
It's very
So closing out our conversation about Storygraph versus the good I was supposed to say the Goodreads.
You mean bad,
Goodreads.
The good wife.
Yeah, the good wife.
bad
So it seems like I've made my case of
No,
between
honestly,
going Goodreads and Storygraph. So which one do you guys feel is better?
notebook and
And-
paper.
Right?
ooh,
I
a
don't think
journal.
any-
A journal.
a
I don't
journal
think
from Barnes and Noble.
Don't
I-
bring that
That's
into
that's interesting that Tessa said that because a lot of people are going back to
Let's go
Spreadsheet.
back.
Paper
Everyone get
and
off the
paper-
internet.
honestly,
No more
yeah.
internet.
Honestly,
No more
like,
apps. No more
the-
apps.
I feel like the pandemic did a lot to like bring us back to pen and paper for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Because I do remember working at Blick during that time, and everybody was like buying sketchbooks and like the calligraphy pens, like travel paint sets, and I was like, this is a weird trend to start now when we're on lockdown. But yeah, go for it. Fuck it.
Well, yeah, because like there's a well, so basically, look, I'm a stationary fiend. I will confess that like at the top of this like round. But like there was something about like the pandemic that made me feel like I had to interact with things physically because
Yes.
like I could not my days were blurring. Every day felt like the same day over and over, and my way to differentiate it would be like I would have to like journal what I did today, even if it was something like mundane.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I also started seeing like all of these posts about like, hey, when people were in the Great Depression, this is what their diaries looked like. It would be things like planted potatoes today, Hitler is in power. I don't know, something like that.
That was not the Great Depression.
Sorry, I don't
Different
know.
time period. It's okay. We understand.
Like it's the vibe. That's the vibe I
Yeah.
got. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like I will defend myself by saying that was the vibe that was
No, no.
happening.
The stock market
Like,
crashed.
no,
I planted my
different time
potato.
periods.
Yes. Two different time periods, but that was the vibe. That was the vibe. You know, like but
No, I
but
I kind of want to do
whatever.
I want to go back to what Whitney said. She said,
Going back to pen and paper.
Yes.
I'm
but
very
also what
sorry.
Whitney said too. She said Google Sheets, like spreadsheets.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would do spreadsheets. I think I'm not going to get rid of Goodreads because I've been doing it since 2012. And it's not that I don't want to support Storygraph at all, because I think, rooting for everybody Black. But for me, it's just I don't want to join another thing. Like, I don't want to do Threads. I don't want to go to Blue Sky. I don't want to I don't want to sign up for one more social media platform. And
That's also
like
what drives me nuts.
Instagram and TikTok, and occasionally Twitter. And I can't and it's not that I won't get rid of Twitter. I'm not super active on it anyway, but like the people I follow, which is like Thai BL actors or like other fandoms of things that I like they're not on Blue Sky, at least not yet. So it's just like until they move off this, they're on Instagram and they're on. I don't do Facebook like that, but like they're on Instagram, they're on X/Twitter, they're on Facebook. So until they move off of that, like I'm not really gonna get rid of it, and I don't want to sign up for something else. I just
we're tired.
Yeah, I'm tired of all of these different sites and these different alternatives. It's just like until the wheels fall off, until like I don't want to support that man or that the Cybertruck loser, but like it's just more I don't want to sign up for anything else. And I don't need to, because again, everything I like and the people that I follow are on these platforms already. And the people that I give a shit about in real life, I'm talking to them and I talk to them regularly. Like you guys, uh, my best friend, my mother, like people at work. So for me, Storygraph, awesome. I have an account. I might go back to it in the new year, but as of right now, I'm not joining not one more damn thing. And that is my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I'm not saying I won't ever join it. Like, maybe in the future I might use it or something like that. But just like I'm also fatigued and
Yeah.
get off the internet, everyone.
Well, I mean, I think like for me, I kind of forget when you're on the Storygraph, you forget you're on the internet. You
And
just
that's dangerous.
no, actually no, it's not, because it's like you're going through, because I like to look through Storygraph because it gives you kind of a recollection of what the type of books you read, and you're just going back and looking at it. So when I say like, oh, you forget you're on the internet, is it because you're not being bombarded with ads or other stuff. You're just focusing on your reading life
Right.
and
Yeah, I
all the
remember
books.
when you showed me the app, the UI is very specific to that. Like what you're
Yeah.
seeing is very reader friendly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's reader friendly. And I think that's why I'm really an advocate for Storygraph, because it's like it really just focus on the books. It's not, I mean, it is like what Whitney says. I don't think publishers are starting to come onto Storygraph, but it's very slowly, because you still have Goodreads and you have this momentum on it, and they don't want to steer away from it. But I think you just have to go with whatever you feel comfortable. And I feel comfortable with Storygraph because I'm not really, it really just goes back and focusing on, like, I can keep track of what I'm reading, or I can create a challenge for either for my blog or for myself. And it just really goes back to, even though it is using like a different interface and it is still on the internet, it kind of like goes back to the basics of just, creating a social network of reading, and a great community of reading. And speaking of Blue Sky and Threads, we can have a different conversation about that. But I'm on Threads and Blue Sky, and I love it. So yeah.
Honestly,
So
at this point, I've just kept to Instagram. My Facebook is still there. I do not really interact with it.
as
Instagram,
long as you have an Instagram, you will always have a Facebook.
ironically, as
sad.
it were, yes. But like,
Yeah.
I do have like an X/Twitter account. I have a Tumblr account, but Instagram has been what I've just kind of kept with, and it's because most of the people that I follow on Instagram were like the artists that I worked with on murals, or like people that I've met through Blick who share art and stuff like that. And that's kind of why I stayed on Instagram, because I mean nobody uses DeviantArt like that anymore. They've all migrated, or they keep their very specific stuff on DeviantArt. So I just kind of stayed on Instagram. I don't really go on Facebook that much. I don't go on X. And to that point, for Storygraph, I think if I were to ever migrate over to that, it would just be the same thing that I was using Goodreads for, which is just like to make sure I don't reread a story that I read once and it left no impact on me.
Yeah.
Oh, just speaking of reading a book once, it tracks how many times you've read the book.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you guys have come across the publisher Angry Robot. That is a
I
very.
don't think so.
Is it Angry Robot? Yeah,
Yep,
right.
For a moment, I thought you meant Bad Robot, the
same.
one that's owned by JJ.
No, Bad Robot is the production company. Angry Robot is a publishing company. I forget who they're like a subset of. I think it's Simon and Schuster.
I do not remember.
I don't remember. I'd have to go like
They
pull a
have
book.
they have tropes in the like not real tropes, but like tropes in the back of the book that show like details about that book that like will appeal to readers, like heist
Yeah,
or
no, honestly, that's why I read those. I love that publishing brand just because they have those like tropes in the back where it's like heist or like what's one of the
swashbuckling.
swashbuckling. There's
Mm.
one that's like outer space romance, and like they just have these tropes listed on the back.
What's really funny is there's one that I remember
Mhm.
where it says up, up, and away.
Yep.
And then another book will say away, away, and up.
Exactly. If it's a part of the same series, they'll kind of like flip some of the tropes on their heads. But because of that, it's led me to read so many angry robot like publications to the point where I don't remember which ones of them that I've read. And that's why I kept a track of on Goodreads where it's like, oh wait, no, I actually did read this book. I'm gonna put it back on the shelf then. Even if
Yes.
I don't remember it at all.
Oh my God. My memory is so bad that the only way I remember if I read a book is if I see it in Goodreads from the past. So that's the only reason why I should keep updating it. That way I know, yes, I did read that.
So I think I forgot to say at the beginning of What is Storygraph, you do know that you can download your Goodreads data and import it into the Storygraph.
Which is vastly important.
You should have
Which I
mentioned
did
that
when I
first.
first signed up. I should probably do it again.
Yeah.
That seems like a very important function to mention.
Yeah.
Please.
I forgot.
Please. Oh, yeah, if you want new users on a different platform, that's the best way to get them. Say you
Yeah.
can just import the data. That's it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would just upload everything. It will take like a day or two, but yeah.
That's fine.
That's automatically.
Like, honestly, that's fine. Look, no, here's the thing. If I can't remember what I've read, I mean, it won't matter how long it takes Storygraph to upload my data.
Take a week, take a month.
Take a
I don't
week.
care.
I'm not gonna remember anything.
Fine.
Anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to trigger
Sure.
anything in my brain.
No thoughts.
Haven't.
And then-
Tessa's like, no, still pen and paper.
Yep. Just pen and paper.
Look, I
No.
have a very cute. I have a very cute book journal. All right, like it's adorable, and I write it with different colored pens, and it keeps me very entertained. Never mind that I haven't read anything since like the middle of this year.
No, wait, hang on. To be fair, you should say anything that's not related to work.
Oh no, I haven't read anything related to work. Fuck work.
Never mind.
Wow.
Oh, we're at that point of the podcast where you just
Oh
say,
my
"Fuck
god.
work." Here.
Look,
Strike,
if I have to
strike,
tell,
strike.
if I have to tell one more person why their financial aid didn't kick in, I'm going to lose my shit
Oh my
Oh,
god.
because I have no control over this.
Oh
Go
my
to
God.
financial
So they get angry at you.
Yes, because financial
my
aid
God.
keeps sending them back to me, and I'm just like, bro, you spoke to them. I have no jurisdiction over your financial aid.
I couldn't do that. I could not do
Yeah.
that.
I'm breaking dreams constantly.
I was gonna say, like, you ruined everyone's day.
Everyone's day, and I'm like, you know what? I think I need to transfer out of this office. I need to go to the like gallery. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, exactly. That it just makes your day all sad and ruined. No way.
A little bit. Sometimes it makes me happy.
That's another point. You could become sadistic about it. You could be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
okay, maybe
And
I
I
want to
don't want
ruin
to
your
be.
day.
Look,
Turn you into an evil man.
So
Exa-
The verdict is that we like Storygraph. We may attempt it in the future. Thank you for
Yeah.
convincing us to
if
read
only
it.
because
Welcome.
Goodreads has at this point become so obsolete.
yeah, it has.
Yeah.
You're welcome, everyone. I've welcomed Storygraph into your
What
lives.
a conclusion. That
Yes.
We got there
So-
eventually, folks.
So on that note, since this is our season finale, what is everyone's holiday plans? And so we can include like Thanksgiving.
Yay, time
Hanukkah,
off.
Kwanzaa,
Yay. No
Christmas.
work.
Let's get fucked up
Yay.
and die.
Oh
Oh
my
my god. I will be spending Thanksgiving and Christmas by myself, but
Oh, dude.
What? Why? What's that
well,
about? Come on.
because I mean, I'm not sad about it. It does sound sad, but
A little
I'm
bit.
confused. I'm confused.
so partially is because I had to go upstate in October, and I drove that it's just too much to kind of pretty much go back upstate like less a month later. And then Christmas, I was gonna originally go upstate for Christmas, but then I have to go back up in January, like literally the week after Christmas, for another family like pseudo FMLA type situation. So it just doesn't make sense. Like I can't stay there for 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't
Oh,
make
I
sense.
see.
Yeah, I get
The
it.
timing sucks.
Yeah, the
That's what.
timing of the time.
Oh,
I
I see.
was my kind of plan was to go out to Jersey for Thanksgiving, but my brother's house that he's rebuilding or is just on the it's either on the verge of being finished or it just got finished, like, or it's about to be finished in like within a week or two, and they'll be moving into their house by then. So
Oh,
like, and I don't want to like stress them
impose or
out
whatever.
and
Yeah.
like invite myself over. So my plan for Thanksgiving is going to Wegmans next weekend and then getting most of the stuff. And well, the main thing I'm getting is a prime rib, which is going to be like $100. But
Oh.
I did not get, but well, I don't think I didn't get the menu that I wanted last year for either Christmas or Thanksgiving. So I want my prime rib. I just don't know what sides I want. I don't know if I want to do like Brussels sprouts and mashed potatoes, or if I want to do like green beans and mac and cheese.
Oh.
And then I can do my quintessential cream cheese pound cake.
Yummy.
Because cake for breakfast.
Oh my
Why
God,
not?
yes.
So that's, and I don't know what my Christmas dinner situation is going to be. I usually like to do a ham, but hams are so big, and I'm just one person.
Oh, God.
So I don't know. But
Okay, unless you're cooking and stuff like that. I thought you were like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be having like Chinese takeout or something like that. So no, I mean
yeah.
that's good.
Or
That's
I
good.
can
As someone
meatloaf.
who's had
I
Chinese
love a good
takeout on
meatloaf.
Christmas, not bad.
I'm gonna actually this weekend I'm going to attempt um a lasagna like tomorrow or Sunday. It's my
Ooh.
first time making lasagna.
Oh, good
You're going
out.
to attend a lasagna?
Attempt.
Oh, I
Attempt.
misheard. I thought you said attend.
Attempt.
I was like,
Oh
are you
my
going to
God.
a lasagna
Oh,
party?
yeah.
Like, that sounds
Actually, that
so...
sounds
Like
amazing.
the
That
first
sounds amazing.
time.
I would attend a lasagna party.
No, a lasagna party would be amazing. Everybody contributes like a different part of the dish.
Mm-hmm.
That would be great.
I don't know that we have plans.
Like for the holidays?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know we have your like
my
your
family's
family's
Christmas
Christmas.
and your family's Christmas.
Well, look, man, I know at least one of my family voted Republican, so
It's gonna. I'm not gonna look in that direction, unfortunately.
Oh, that reminds me, one of my friends voted Republican, and she usually has like a Friendsgiving, like after Thanksgiving or around that time, and I'm just like, oh God.
yeah,
Tabrizia, what are you doing for the holidays?
something
I'm
positive.
probably Chris is drunk. I'm probably going to spend time at my aunt's house, which I mean, usually it can be a fun time, but my family does like talking about politics, which I'm
Oh
not.
no.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's
Your aunt
it's
here? Or
the aunt that's here, and then also there's an aunt from Antigua coming up.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if my cousins from like Texas are coming. Probably not. But yeah, it's not something I'm looking forward to because I know they're going to be talking about politics all the time, especially not with what's happening here. Something happened in Antigua. A
Oh
member of
no.
parliament was found dead in their
Oh,
apartment.
Oh my
fucking hell.
God.
So there's like a mysterious, like, he was stabbed. So there's a mysterious case around it, and they're trying to get, like, I think Scotland Yard to come in to help investigate.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, so
In paradise, real life.
I
edition.
know. So they're trying, so they're probably going to be, I mean, I would rather them discuss that instead of like discussing stuff here, but most of
The
the time
doom of our world.
Oh my God.
exactly. So that's Thanksgiving. Christmas, I just spend it with my parents and Tanya because her birthday is around, her birthday is December 31st. And she'll be turning,
Oh.
yeah, she'll be turning 5.
Oh
So
my goodness. Where does the time go?
I know
Honestly,
got
who
that
knows?
cat. I swear to
Wait,
God.
no.
Right?
Wait.
it's a little bit bigger. So, but
Aw.
yeah, she will be 5.
Hey man, I can apparently hang around cats now.
Wait,
As I
what?
found out.
Wait, so you're not allergic anymore?
I don't know.
Sometimes allergies change.
Yeah,
Allergies
probably.
change.
Like, I
and
was
like
not
Tessa,
allergic to shellfish, and then I moved here, and then all of a sudden,
no, Tessa and I, we have a D&D group where one of the where the DM, she has a cat in her house. We've done 2 sessions there, and I've taken allergy meds in the morning, but while I'm there, it doesn't trigger anything.
Yeah, you're not dying like when you're there.
Yeah, so I'm like,
Hmm.
I guess I can hang around cats now.
Or there's
So
some certain cats that don't trigger the allergy. Maybe
Yeah.
is
I
it
don't
that kind of
believe that
cat?
at all.
No, there are
Oh.
some hypoallergenic cats.
The
But I couldn't tell
hairless
you what they
ones?
were. I couldn't tell you what they were.
I couldn't tell you what indeed.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like
Same.
My point is, I can apparently hang around cats. So cheers.
Yay, good news. That's the good news of
That's the good
day.
news.
Of the week.
Of the week, yes.
good news of the
Evelyn, did you tell us your holiday plans?
Yeah, time off. It's
Okay.
fantastic. Yes,
Fair
yes,
enough.
no work. It's fabulous.
There
But
we
yeah,
go.
no, spending Thanksgiving, Christmas with the family. Yeah, hopefully, if the Friendsgiving happens, no politics, no, we're not talking about it.
look,
We hope so.
worst case scenario, we're here. I'll make something and like we can put movies on. Like I feel like I'm fairly open to this.
Oh yeah, I do have to invite you guys over. I do. We'll talk about it later.
Yes,
We'll talk
we
about it
haven't
later.
been to your new place,
we'll try.
which is not new anymore.
It's not new. It's not. I just keep saying this so often.
So, before we close out the program, so on a positive note, what are we all looking forward to? Because I know a couple of us have some upcoming trips that's actually coming up pretty soon, especially for me in a couple of days. I could go first if
Yeah, go.
There we go.
yeah, okay. So I will be going back to London this coming Wednesday but this time to attend a young adult literature convention. It's titled YALC. It's like a little mini part of their London ComicCon. It happens on another floor that is what I'm seeing is similar to the Javits Center. Because everyone I talked to is like, oh, there's like not a lot of food around. So it's like, the Javits Center. And they're like, yeah, and you have to like a long trek from the tube station. I'm like,
Oh, like the
like the Javits Center.
Aw.
No, if the 7 is running, you can just walk.
So,
Quiet,
but
quiet down.
I
Go to
just
sleep.
find it funny that you're going to the YA part when like all of your faves are going to the main event.
No, they're not. That
No.
one is in like another part of the UK, but
Oh,
I
right,
checked out. Yeah, I checked out the lineup for the ComicCon, and I do not know any
I
of
thought
them.
James was going.
No, that's the one that we want to go to,
Oh,
but that's in like Cheltenham, or Birmingham or somewhere, but it's not in London. Yeah.
Yeah, say it the British way. Birmingham.
Birmingham. Yes, Birmingham. And I know, Evelyn, you have an exciting trip coming up.
Yes, I have time off. That's amazing.
Oh,
two weeks away from work. Isn't that crazy?
Staycation.
No, not a staycation, but yes, I'm looking forward to that.
And Whitney?
Oh my God. So my birthday is in a month. Actually, exactly. I'm 1 month away. December 8th. I know it's the 9th now, but and my best friend might be coming, but it's fine if she doesn't. I would be sad, but I will still do what I'm gonna do anyway, because I take that entire week off. So I'm taking that week off. So from Sunday to Sunday, I don't work weekends anymore. So from Saturday,
So
the
beautiful.
7th to the 15th, I am off, and I got free tickets to Stephen Colbert for like that Monday. I was originally supposed to go to
Cool.
Chicago for a concert, but then one, I'm broke, and then two, the reason I was going to Chicago is happening. So like my favorite K-pop soloist, Wano, is doing a fan meet here in New York. So I spent money I don't have to be able to take a picture with him, and it's on the Thursday that I'm off. So even if I was working, I was gonna have to take the whole day off, because usually like fan meets and meet and greets, they're an all day affair. So yeah, I was originally gonna go to Jingle Ball in Chicago because he was performing there, but now I'm either gonna sell my ticket back to Ticketmaster at a loss, but it's better than like hoping someone buys it. Or seeing it, because it's that Friday the 13th. Or seeing if I can transfer my ticket to the Jingle Ball at Madison Square Garden. But again, it's birthday is happening. I'm so excited to see Wano. He just got back from the military last month, so it's just like, and I knew I was gonna drop so much money, and I'm already poor, so.
Colbert was at NYCC. He was the moderator for the War of the Rohirrim panel.
Nice. Well, yeah, because he's a huge,
massive Tolkien fan. Yeah.
Yes. So it's first, technically the tickets are first come first serve, but if you line up early, like from the instructions, you start lining up at 2:30 out of the theater, and then filming is at 4 o'clock or 4:15. So I got 2 tickets, so if she doesn't end up coming and anyone wants to play hooky and come with me, you are more than welcome. You just have to meet me at the it's not John Wilkes Booth Theater. There's something old timey like that. But you can meet me at whatever theater. Something Ford. I think it's not Ford Theater. I don't know, but you have to meet me at a theater downtown where they film near
an undisclosed
around
theater.
Undisclosed location, yeah.
At 2:30. So if anyone wants to be,
now everyone can find you. You know that, right? Literally anyone can find you. Where
it's very hard to find anybody.
Look, it'll be all right. If anyone wanted to be that bad, they can
find you.
If any lucky listener wants to join in.
Stop.
Hey, it depends how quickly I edit this episode.
Right? But this is more for like my fellow co-hosts more than a person that's listening. So
I'm saying capitalism dictates that we offer that to you.
Yeah. I also applied to get
Oh my
tickets
God.
for Kelly Clarkson.
Oh.
The
Oh.
days that were available, Taryn Egerton is going to be there.
That's
Really?
So,
dope as shit, actually.
and I didn't realize that she has two different filming times, right? So she'll have a filming done in like the morning, and then she'll have a filming done in the afternoon, and even films on Saturdays. So I was like, oh.
That's wild.
I will drop the link. Do not share this on the site because I don't want any more competition. But I will drop the link to the site where I get all of this information because and then I will toss it over to Tessa and Chris. Wano is doing something on that Friday as well during the day at the Hammerstein. So I was in my little
The
and it's a free,
Hammerstein.
yes. So in my little note, I was like, please, I'm begging you, give me a ticket. And it's with like other Jingle Ball acts, but he's not performing at the Madison Square Garden Jingle Ball, but he's doing like the pre-show. So we'll
Interesting.
see. But yeah, I will drop a link in our chat thing, but take it away, Chris and Tessa.
Oh man.
So yeah, no, in December we'll actually be doing the 20-sided tavern.
Yay.
With we booked tickets so that we could have it
So we could see Erika
Erika
Ishii as a guest.
Yes. Which honestly
So exciting.
So I think, can you explain to us, to people who don't know what that is?
the 20-sided tavern. Yeah, no, that's fair. The 20-sided tavern is a like live D&D show. So like they roll on stage, they ask for
Audience participation.
audience participation to like help with the rolls, help with the decisions that they make.
Yes.
And we specifically booked this like
This particular
time
time.
because Erika Ishii is somebody we both like watching. She's been on Dimension 20, which is a dropout show.
Also live D&D.
Also live D&D. She's been on Critical Role as
mm,
well. She's a voice actress who's showed up in many
video games.
She'll also be the main protagonist of the new
Was it Ghost of Tsushima?
Ghost of Tsushima
But-
sequel.
Yeah.
She'll be the main protagonist of that one. Like overall, we just love her performances, so we'll be watching her. Honestly, I wish that my paycheck had hit earlier, and we would have also watched Abria, who's another like dungeon master for
And player
it's
sometimes.
20 and player.
Occasional player, mostly DM.
Yeah, mostly DM for Critical Role, Dimension 20. She's great. And I wish we had also gone to see her show, but we'll be
We have a
seeing.
friend who saw her show and managed to be part of the audience participation for that one. So I'm just here like I am infinitely jealous.
Yeah.
But also
Gotta do that,
I'm so
Klarna,
happy this
that
happened to you.
afterpay.
What's up?
Gotta do that afterpay.
Look, man, I couldn't afford Afterpay what was going on. I just got my first paycheck like mid-September.
Oh, I remember you talking
wow.
about that with the timeline and everything.
It's so bad. But anyways, we'll be going to that in December, and like I said, family stuff. Honestly, I think this year we'll be keeping it mostly with Tessa's family, because
who knows? Who knows? All right.
yeah.
I also have vacation. That's it.
Yeah. I don't, because
He just started.
Well, on that note, we will conclude this episode and this season of the Fake Book Club podcast. Thank you so much for listening to our first inaugural season. I hope you enjoyed this episode and also our past episodes. You can listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. And you can also visit our website at fakebookclubpodcast.wordpress.com. So please take the time to follow us, and we hope to see you in 2025. So have a happy early new year, happy holidays, and thank you for listening. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.